Another question is, what about that group fitness instructor is being hired by a gym and she's thinking or he's thinking about pay structure? Is there any wiggle room in how you're going to be paid, or how are you going to be paid?
Yes. Okay. Usually, fitness instructors get paid per class, usually like per hour. Most fitness classes are about an hour, um, 50 minutes, whatever have you. And there's like a flat rate. I personally have many times negotiated my price depending on my travel time, depending on my experience. And I would say to the instructor, look, I'm not just, someone who was just recently certified, and I really feel like my value as a group fitness instructor, because I've been teaching, let's say, 10 years, and I also have a background in health and exercise science, versus someone who's just right out of the door here, who's making the same amount of money. Most gyms will pay about $25 for the class. Some will pay more depending on the credentialing and or experience. So I say, hey, negotiate that. Know that up front that this is what you're going to get paid. Is it for an hour class? Like with personal fitness training, they're usually half-hour sessions, and the gym gets half of whatever that session is. So that's something you can negotiate. In the beginning, you're just so hungry to teach that you're like, oh, sure, I'll take anything. But you also have to factor in, your travel time, the amount of time that you're putting into your routines or your exercises and changing them to keep them fresh, because you want people to keep coming back. You don't want people saying, oh, we're doing the same thing we did last week or the week before. Yeah, I think that's where you have some room to negotiate. But in the very beginning, I understand how instructors may feel stuck, like, okay, I only make this much an hour. So there can be some wiggle room. I would say first get the experience, work for that gym, get that experience under your belt, and then when you start to feel more confident in your ability, saying, hey, I think I deserve more, maybe it's time to have the talk with whoever that manager is and say, here's what I'm thinking. And there's no problem with negotiating. Again, I've negotiated many times saying, I really feel that my pay scale needs to be adjusted because of this, and this. All they can say is no.
Do they ever pay based on class size?
I have not, but I know some people do. And I think that's a great question. Remember, I used to, when I taught my group exercise, I was a jazzercise instructor, and we were to collect our own fees and then pay, our continuing franchise fee. And I remember I would rent a facility. And the way I negotiated this was, the person who wanted the fee came down and said, wow, you had 50 people in your class last night, and I think we should, charge you more. They want to charge me more rent for the people. And I said, well, but what about in August when people are on vacation and maybe there's like 5 to 7 people in the class? Are you going to allow for me to pay less rent? So I negotiated that. However, let's say you're teaching in some type of, fitness facility, or maybe it's not even a fitness facility, it's like a rec room, and they say, we're going to pay you X amount of dollars per people. And then you say, oh, well, if I grow this class through my own marketing, will I be able to make more money? Let's say, okay, if it's 20 people or 15 people, will I get, $5 more? So you can barter. You can definitely negotiate that price with whoever that facility director is. Sometimes, like if you're in like a YMCA, you're kind of stuck with the pay scale, whatever the pay scale is. Again, I would highly recommend tooting your own horn, especially once you have that expertise under your belt, and just say, look, I teach X amount of classes here, and if they don't want to lose you, they know you're a valuable asset, and you have a following. They're like, well, then we don't want her going down the street and then taking all those people with her. So, but of course, again, professionalism, you won't want to do that. So I do think that you can negotiate, though. I really do.